Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with...
Nerdarchy's Dave.
And today we ask Kobolds, what does your race say about you? Hey, jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So you were talking to our friend from Australia,
Alex. And, it was actually a fluke. I was sending Nate or was planning to send Nate a reminder on Facebook about it being his turn to do the newsletter. And I happened to pop into the wrong chat because I was chatting with Alex. And I put the message to him. And long story short,
he's doing our newsletter this week.
He's not going to do the newsletter this week, but he's like, well, if you need something, I totally love kobolds. Can you do a video on, in the series of what does your race say about you with kobolds?
Interesting. Okay. So, we looked at Volo's guide real quick, and what we discovered is it doesn't really say much about playing with kobold. So we're going to have to make shit up.
The monstrous section of the monstrous races in that section, there's ones that they have the full race write-up, and then there's 6 that are like, oh, here's your mechanics. That's it. So there isn't the in-depth situation that they have for some of the other races. But kobolds have been around for a long time. I think we kind of know what's going on.
So all right, what are the defining traits of a kobold in your opinion? We've got they're craven. Mm-hmm. For the most part, they're usually depicted as. You can go with they believe they're actually descended of dragons, which has also been a theme throughout, especially after sorcerers were added to the game.
Exactly.
They are trap makers and miners.
Yes.
As well. So that's what we kind of have to work with.
So you've got things that believe they're descended from dragons who... So even though they claim to be descended from dragons, they actually don't get any kind of charisma bump. So their blood is apparently very diluted.
They're not Dragonborn, for the love of God. But unlike Dragonborn, they can see in the dark.
That is true. So they're small, they're nimble, they're known to duck into small areas. Not that, like I've seen and done kobold lairs that the height of the kobold is taken into account.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't it be? Especially if they're not, if they're not known for having non-kobolds visit their lair in a good way.
Right.
And also, generally, they're considered pests and nuisance, right? And that can be important in the sense of how others treat them and interact with them and perceive them, yeah. And also, if you're a kobold if you're playing a kobold and you do find yourself in a city or a town, our mother's going to be hiding their kids because they're afraid you're going to steal them and eat them. Because, kobolds ate my baby. It happens.
Kobolds ate my baby.
So what do you think the defining factor is going to be when playing a kobold?
When playing a kobold, you could play up several different angles. You could play up the sneaky part of it and trying to just not observed, but not be observed in a negative light. So you just want to stay out of everyone's way and kind of just pick at the edges of everything, be it combat, be it, even a meal. You could really get along with that. Or you could totally ham up the situation, play a sorcerer, go with the dragon origin, and
be kind of outrageous.
Be outrageous about it. Go over the top and be in people's faces. And I think it would be hysterical to do. It depends upon how you want to do it.
Yeah, so you're gonna there's 2 routes to go. One is you're gonna play with type or against type, and against type is kind of like they have this negative connotation. They're evil. They're ambushers, and maybe you want to be perceived as noble and the good guy, and you're really trying to set right the wrongs of your people and show that not all kobolds are the same. Maybe you're a paladin. I don't know.
All right, so you're looking at they're going to be geared more towards rogues because they have the the higher decks. But I mean, everybody can kind of benefit from it. You're rarely going to see someone saying, "Oh, well, I want to play the Kobold fighter, and I want to pull out my battle axe and run in and attack with strength." With them
But
getting
that would be playing against type as well, though. If you want to play the brave kobold, right?
true.
And really play up that angle of it. And again, you could absolutely do it. We've seen it done in our games. If a halfling can do it, a kobold can do it.
It's true. It's true.
And then there is playing with type and being exactly what people expect you to be. Now, you could still be in a good party. You're subservient. You're self-serving, but maybe working with the party is in your best interest, and you do. Maybe you do fulfill the role of rogue and trap finder. You could even bill yourself as an expert trap finder, or maybe he's a tinkerer in nature, and that's another part or aspect of the kobolds as well, because they're good at engineering traps and they're also good at mining. They're actually kind of industrious for one of the evil races,
Right.
and they're quite crafty and skilled. So that could be that could be a reason for leaving. They'd actually make a cool artificer.
Yeah.
It would it would kind of make sense, but that could be a reason for them leaving their tribe or clan to pursue their true passion, which is gadgets and inventions and gizmos. So you could totally play this kobold up as being inquisitive and curious, and maybe sometimes to the detriment of the party or himself, but almost Kender like when it comes to contraptions. He just has to know how things work. So there's that route as well.
You could have that kind of character anytime you interact with anything that would be considered mechanical. Like, okay, after he's taken apart the trap, he fiddles and plays with it. It's like, all right, how did this work? What kind of whatever, and like he's got this. You could have him dragging a cart or conscripting one of the other players or even an NPC to haul this cart full of this useless junk that he's found that he still wants to play around with.
As a DM with that kind of character, every once in a while when they disarm a trap and fail, I would want to, instead of having the trap just go off, be like, oh yeah, you disarm it, whatever the rule is. But like because the way that character is, and they can't just leave it alone. It's that like they disarm it, but then they keep fiddling with it and accidentally rearm it. So then it goes off the way it was intended to.
That'd be awesome.
So this could, this character could be played as a nuisance character, or the character out on a personal quest to, show that his race can be noble and play completely against type.
And the other side of things is going to be NPC perception, and that is going to be staggering based off of what that particular NPC is really gonna consider. And a lot of NPCs will not want kobolds walking around their town, even if it's just a lone one, because
everyone knows where one kobold is. There's 1,000.
There's more. So is this guy going to be considered? Is he a scout? Is he checking out places for the kobold horde to settle or invade or destroy or whatever have you?
Anytime something goes missing, probably the first one to be accused.
Yes. So yeah, it might take some work to get an NPC or get the player kobold accepted in town. Now, in your game, there wasn't a big to-do about the Gobelos. And some players want to play an abnormal race for the reactions that are going to happen. And as a campaign goes on, all right, those kind of things have to get toned down, because you don't want to do it every single town that you walk in. You don't, it's like, oh God, I got to go through this whole thing again.
Yeah, like I feel like I probably should have did it more in my game, but the way they play their goblins are so over the top and ridiculous. like them being goblins is the least offensive thing about them.
It's very true. I know in a game I played while we were on the cruise, I played a lizard folk, and in another game that I played a tiefling, and I was looking for some of those reactions, and the game I played on the cruise, it was Adventure League. There wasn't time for the exploratory player stuff and the Tiefling that I played in another game. The DM is inexperienced and did not want to handle that kind of stuff. So it was like, all right, well, I'm still itching for that. I want to get into conversations with NPCs about I'm abnormal and I don't want to belong. I don't feel like I belong here, and like I'm just not getting that role play.
Ted is just angry his snowflakeness didn't get acknowledged. He's just sitting there melting away.
So I don't know. To me, that's fun. I enjoy that kind of stuff. And when you play those types of races, you have to expect some of that.
Right, and the Kobold is definitely one of them. There's also the problem of how much time do you want to sink into one player at the table as well. Because if every time your character has to be a role-playing spectacle for everyone that interacts, it can take away from the rest of the table as well, unless they get in on it in one way or the other.
It's true.
Whether they egg them on or defend them, well, yeah, whatever works for them. Let us know how the kobolds get played in your game. Are they being played in your game? Do you allow it, or you're like, not in my game? Let us know in the comments below while you're at it. Like, share, and subscribe.
You can check us out over on Nerdarchy.com.
So until next time,
stay nerdy. I put the message to him, and long story short,
he's doing our newsletter this week.
He's not going to do the newsletter this week, but he's like, well, if you need something, I totally love kobolds. Can you do a video on, I was sending planning to send Nate a reminder on Facebook about it being his turn to do the newsletter, and I happened to pop into the wrong chat because I was chatting with Alex, and in the series of what does your race say about you with kobolds.
Interesting. Okay. So, we looked at Volo's guide real quick, and what we discovered is it doesn't really say much about playing with a kobold.
Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, and today I'm hanging out with
Nerdarchy's Dave.
And today we ask kobolds, what does your race say about you? Hey, jump down the description below where you can sign up for Nerdarchy, the newsletter, get weekly gaming tips, as well as learn how to game with Nerdarchy.
So you were talking to our friend from Australia,
Alex.
Alex.
And, it was actually a fluke.